The following program is rated TV MA TV and is intended only for mature audiences.
TV?
Our deal has expired. Yeah. You would think like this, the new deal, like there must be so much in it that, oh man, what are you going to talk about for 3 months? This got to be like a crazy new deal where, I guess I won't speak for Jim, but I signed an extension, not a new contract.
Yep.
19 minutes ago, so that I could go on the air today. And it's a 30-day extension.
Oh, shit. Here we go again.
Just when you thought the Jim and Sam show might finally come to an end? Nope. 1 month extension. That is, following up the 2-month extension after their prior contract expired in October. This nightmare's never ending. But I'm not talking about the constant threat of Sirius canceling Jim and Sam. I'm talking about the fact that this show is still fucking going. It started in 2016, so despite the fact that Jim and Sam have only officially been on the air together now for 5 years, the show feels like it's been going on for decades because it's fucking exhausting to listen to. This show, the last remnant of the Opie and Anthony days on Sirius XM, it really should appeal to a fan like me. But it doesn't, because the Jim and Sam show is AIDS. Honestly, dude, just cancel the show. A dying company like Sirius XM is always looking for a new way to save money. It's the best option for everyone involved. For Sirius, for Norton, for the fans. Fuck, I mean, probably Sam, too. November 30th was the last day of their previous contract's extension, so everyone, including Jim and Sam, went into that show expecting it to be their last. So how'd they cap things off? Well, Voss was there, and he was trying his best not to fall asleep alongside, Mary Jean.
Find me on Twitter and Instagram.
Nice. Yeah, for pictures of Mary Jean and sometimes Hot Dog's brother.
Yes.
Follow Mary Jean on Instagram.
Yep.
And yeah, we'll see if we see you tomorrow.
If this really was the end of the Jim and Sam show, fuck, dude. The final broadcast of anything resembling O&A ending with a plug for Mary fucking Jean. Opie and Anthony left Sirius with more dignity. Way to tell them your show's worth keeping on their airwaves.
It really showed some bravado on our part to be like, well, the last contracted show, how are you going to show us really what your value is? We're like, we got Voss for the whole show.
That's right.
Exactly, Sam. That's right. Throw Voss under the bus. He's the problem. They'd much rather hear you chat with Mary Jean and every wrestler under the titty fucking sun. They're two guys that know how to run a compelling show. So they spend the first 50 minutes of their 3-hour broadcast bitching about their contract negotiation. And in typical Jim and Sam fashion, they spend way too much time trying to dumb it down for their audience. As if every Jim and Sam fan is half-past brain dead, they feel the need to provide 7 analogies to illustrate what this contract negotiation is really like for those who might be a little confused.
You're at home and you have nice furniture, and there's a home invasion. And you can have the couch, but please let me have the bed.
Like, what if you just took the ottoman?
Yeah, just the ottoman.
Just the ottoman.
It's like being a shop owner in San Francisco.
Yeah.
That's what this feels like. And people are just running in, and the company is saying that please just to call this negotiation a smash and grab.
It's like being working in owning a Dwayne Reed in New York City. And Sirius is that guy on the bicycle that just comes in and takes things off the shelves and then leaves.
Yeah.
And you call the police and you go, he can't just take things off the shelves, right? And the police go, yeah, to an extent. Of course you can.
Now, if I played you every comparison they made, it's collectively like fucking 10 minutes of analogies. Do we really need that? Are we that stupid? Is the concept of they're not paying us enough money that elusive and hard to understand? Or are we just trying to run out the clock?
I guess it's a positive thing that they haven't outright cut you off at October at the end of your contract.
Yeah,
because if your numbers were horrible, you would be gone.
No, but let me ask you a question. If you were dating a girl, right, and she caught you fucking another girl, and she goes, don't do that again, and you said, or what? And she went, or nothing. Wouldn't you keep fucking this girl because she let me fuck other girls? Why won't I?
That's true.
It doesn't mean that you like the girl. It's just like you know that she'll let you keep fucking her and cheating. I said, why not?
If Jim and Sam are going to waste that much time trying to draw an apt comparison, I'll sum it up with my own in a fraction of the time. It is like a relationship. Norton gets that much right. It's a woman that's unhappy in a relationship and threatens to leave if things don't change. The man, in response, says, you know, you should really stay because I can have any pussy I want. I've got plenty of options.
If we get a bunch of people to pay us $600 a year, that might be good.
God, you look. I mean,
Start
again,
Patreon, $600 a year.
$600 the annual fee. You can do annual now.
But you don't need to make that kind of money to have a really good You don't need to make $180,000 a month to do better than I'm doing here.
Right.
Sirius XM is the woman threatening to leave. Jim's the man trying to guilt her into staying by alluding to all the options he has lined up. And Sam's that man's friend just hoping they stay together so he can continue to watch them fuck while he jerks off in the corner. Alright, it's not a perfect analogy, but I didn't waste 10 minutes of your life on it. And make no mistake, they both threaten to leave Sirius and say they could do just as well without them, but they want this job because it's an easy, reliable paycheck.
I'm just wondering, why don't you guys just, if they pull this extension BS again, why don't you guys just one morning show up on YouTube with your own show, a whole channel?
It's harder to make money. And you also on YouTube and on Patreon, you don't have, it's not a guarantee. Not that you need to know every single dollar you're making, but I mean, there's something about being in a place where the studio is built. You just come in, guests come in. Everything is kind of in place and running. It's very convenient.
We like it here, except when we're negotiating.
Yeah.
When you post shit online or start a Patreon or whatever, there's a direct correlation between the entertainment value you provide and the amount of money you make as a result of that. Why do you think my shitty-ass Patreon has less than $50 a month? It's because I suck. I'm bad. No one should give me money. If Jim and Sam went online, there's no guaranteed salary. Jim couldn't just plop his ass down and talk about yogurt for hours on end and expect to make more in a month than Bob Kelly does in a year. In the words of one of God's chosen people, here's the thing. Sirius doesn't release its numbers to the public or its on-air talent, so Jim and Sam don't even know how many listeners they have. I have a feeling they might be concerned about what their actual numbers would be if they were forced to put their show out there on YouTube.
A lot of these companies, Netflix too, it's not just Sirius, any company that's subscription-based like this always fucking sits on numbers like that. And then it sounds like you're lying when people ask you a question, but literally they all do it, and they do it because it gives them a powerful place in a negotiation.
There's a very good reason Compound Media doesn't publish their numbers, because when they're eventually leaked, they're embarrassingly low. Again, November 30th was assumed to be the last day of Jim and Sam, and it's on YouTube right now with less than 2,000 viewers. Dude, when my shitty videos playing Tetris consistently pull in more people than your professional fucking radio show, you gotta change some shit, because it ain't working out. You're not pulling in new people. No one's just discovering Jim and Sam. The only people still listening to them are diehard O&A fans that can't accept loss and refuse to acknowledge the reality that this show is not the same as the show they loved all those years ago. Like a guy whose dog dies, so he goes out, buys another one, and gives it the same name. Only problem is, this new dog sucks compared to the old one. Bites everyone that comes through the door and shits all over my carpet. Been watching too much fucking Jim and Sam, can't stop drawing analogies. During the contract discussion, they went to some callers to, I guess, prove to Sirius that people listen, and pretty much everyone that jumped in to defend them mentioned what a big fan of Opie and Anthony they were.
I started listening to you guys on YouTube, like in 2010 and 2011, like the Opie and Anthony show, and just listening to Patrice and everyone else.
I've listened to Jimmy for 17 years. Sam, I've listened to you. I don't know when you joined Opie and Anthony, but...
Is anyone actually a fan of the Jim and Sam show, or is all that fandom grandfathered in from the O&A days? Norton has fans, and Sam probably has fans of his wrestling shit, but together, I don't know who their audience is. It's not O&A fans. And that corn dick intro they play before every show, that's supposed to be ironic, right? Because we're in a post-ironic world of humor where we laugh at things because they're not funny. But to everyone unfamiliar with the show, it comes off as just another run-of-the-mill morning zoo with a generic-ass dime-a-dozen name like Jim and Sam.
When you gotta wake in the morning, your best friends are up and performing.
Like I said, 5 years they've been doing this show, but tune in and it sounds like they just met minutes before hopping on the air.
Let's go to Tim and Dan. What's up? Sorry, let's go to Mark in
Tim,
Seattle.
what do you think it was me at the restaurant?
Yeah. What's up, Mark?
Yeah, is this the Tim and Dan show?
Yep. Thanks, Mark.
Thank you, Mark. I appreciate it.
I didn't know. I didn't see because the radio, the mic arm, I didn't see that he wrote Tim and Dan like it's our show. So like an asshole, I responded to it like, hey, it's me and the...
Yeah, but I read it like as I was reading his name, so I said it instead of his name. So we both blew it for him. That's our
Sorry
bad.
about that.
That's our bad.
They just talk past each other. They have nothing in common other than the shared desire to keep cashing Sirius XM checks. Despite popular opinion, I still think Norton's capable of being funny. I had hope when I saw him getting fat again. He could still be funny, I thought. But not with Sam, and not with Sirius XM.
Yeah, we were just talking shit, like literally all the time the mics are off. We just talk shit
We're
that's
finishing a
inappropriate for
thought
the
that
air.
we don't want on the air.
Yeah, that's it. We were just talking shit that was inappropriate.
Ugh, inappropriate for the air? The fuck kind of estrogen-fueled show am I listening to?
See, a lot of things in this game is weird. Is they try to give you golden handcuffs all the time, and golden handcuffs is when you're like, if you're out of control, somebody just gives you something to control you. So you got nothing, they give you 5 G's, give you something, make you scared of losing 5 G's, and then that's how they beat you into being a slave.
So they can't talk about what they want on the air, they're not getting the pay they think they deserve, and in their minds they're convinced they could be just as successful without Sirius. So it begs the question, why is still there?
My own lack of testosterone, my own terror, fear as a male.
Listen, show some fucking self-respect and don't sign another 30-day extension. Get the fuck out of there. You guys are going to make more money. You're going to have more listeners. Stop being such little fucking bitches.
Yeah, you know what, Nate? You're right. We are being little bitches.
I'm trying to figure out how to
Thank
argue
you.
your point, Nate.
Yeah, I can't. You're not
can't
wrong.
either. You seem like you have flawless logic there, actually.
We are being simps.
Yeah.
It's not every caller is an idiot because this guy does have a point, but just moving the Jim and Sam show online, that's not going to fix it. The problem isn't just Sirius and the restrictions, it's the show. Jim and Sam are two completely different people. They'd put on better shows without each other. Norton should never be the one conducting interviews or directing the flow of a conversation. It's not his strong suit. He's not Captain Material. He is really good as a third mic, and Sam is good at instigating and shit-stirring, but you can't create a show centered around these two. Everyone wants to see it, but I'll be the first to break the bad news that I don't think the fans are ever going to get the Norton and Cumia show they've been waiting for. We saw how Norton treated Louis C.K. after the allegations came out. He's not going to plant his flag firmly in the compound media camp and risk the negative press that would come with it. That in addition to the fact that Ant's moving to South Carolina and Zoom shows fucking suck. I mean, you got two people whose biggest asset is their comedic timing and it's completely destroyed by delayed Zoom audio. Jim could do a show with Bob Kelly or Voss or Colin or really any of his comedian friends, and Sam could do a wrestling show with this guy. Anything would be better at this point. It's been 5 years now. Stop trying to make this show work. Nobody's talked about Jim and Sam since the Nancy Grace thing, and that was literally 5 years ago when the show started. Other than that, I guess I liked it when Kevin Brennan and Dave Landau yelled at each other. It's fun watching Norton trash Dave Smith, and Shane Gillis was good when he was on a month or two ago, but I don't know, he's always funny. Not really the result of Jim and Sam putting on a good show, so what's that? 4 memorable moments in 5 years? That's pretty pathetic. It's really just complacency and a good excuse for me to use a Marvin Hagler quote. It's hard to get out of bed in the morning to go for a run when you're sleeping in silk sheets. If Jim and Sam put on a shitty performance, who cares? It's just as profitable as a great show but requires no effort or planning, so why go the extra mile and even try to entertain your audience? Might as well just interview more wrestlers and cam girls. It would be good for Norton and for Sam to be put in a position where the money they earned is directly related to the entertainment value of the product they put out. Otherwise, there's no incentive to put on a good show and we'll just get 5 more years of forgettable say-nothing radio. I like the idea of the O&A legacy not just dying out and continuing in some way on Sirius XM, but Jim and Sam isn't that. It's a completely different show that really appeals to no one. They can keep trying to cram a square peg in a round hole, or they can finally come to the realization that the rose-colored glasses are beginning to fade, that nostalgia can only propel a show for so long, and that they need to make some serious changes if they want to continue to make the money they're accustomed to, and hang on to the few fans that haven't already given up. I don't hate Norton, I want to listen to him, but currently, Jim and Sam is the only venue outside of his stand-up where you get to hear Jim Norton as Jim Norton. I don't give a shit about Chip Chipperson. I don't give 2 fucks in a shit about Doug Bell. I want to hear Jim Norton. I have a feeling the same way Sirius didn't like Anthony doing live from the compound, Jim's only allowed to do podcasts in character because Sirius knows his fans won't pay for their service if they could get Jimmy unfiltered online for free. And that's true. So if you're really a fan of Jim Norton, if you really want the old Jimmy back, you shouldn't be pushing for another contract extension. You should be hoping he gets fired, because he ain't gonna quit on his own. Oh, and one more thing. Mary Jean's a cunt.